What's up, Nail Geeks? Today I have Zoya's Element Collection for the Fall 2018 release. This is a 12-piece set consisting of creams, a few metallics, and a little bit of shimmer. I've been a fan of the brand for a very long time. It was actually one of my gateway brands into the nail polish community, and I'm very, very proud to present it to you today. First up is Jenna. This is a very dusty rose, and it has a bit of a cool undertone to it. First glance at the bottle, I was a little skeptical how it was going to look on me, but it is a glorious neutral pink that I think is fantastic for fall. As you can see here, it's pretty much almost a one coater. I do recommend 2 thin coats for a completely even application. It dries down quite a bit glossy, and it reminds me of a gel manicure fresh out of the salon. It's got that nice plump feeling to it, and I think any top coat will do just fine. I mean, for any of the creams, I think they will look great, either glossy or matted. Here I am using a quick dry top coat, and it just complements that real squishy gel-like look to the overall appearance. Up next is Rumor. This is a mauve shade. It leans a bit neutral on me, but I was still super pleased with how it looked in the final look. The shimmer in it is, I would say it's a touch subtle, but it's just enough that you can see it in person. On application here, it does look like it's coming off just a touch streaky. However, in person, I think it blends in really well with the shimmer, and I I don't really see it, honestly, outside of my light box in, I would say, quote unquote, real world settings. It's just fine, and honestly, this was one that I took my hand out of the light box and just marveled at what a wonderful nude it was. I mean, usually colors like this kind of wash out on me, but I think it really looked fantastic, and definitely one that I think would look fantastic matted as well. The next polish is Alyssa. This is a really in your face red. I mean, ugh, I really like this type of red. It is very cool toned, and that specific shade of red to me is a true red. On this one, it is a little bit of a slightly thinner consistency, and I say that lightly. I feel like even at the second coat, you're going to be just fine. I don't really see anybody needing to go to 3 coats on this. As you can see on that that first coat, it is just a touch thinner, so you might want to be careful of cleanup. But as you can see there, I did make a bit of a mistake, and for a highly pigmented red, it still removed very easily off of my skin. I used pure acetone with a cleanup brush, and I didn't have any staining. I mean, right after I cleaned up that little bit of cuticle there, you can't even tell at that point. So wonderful red, Zoya, good job. The next polish is Rachael. She is a very dark eggplant, and I think on my swatch photos on my blog, she's photographing almost black. I think the video represents her just a little bit better. She is very, very vampy, and by the second coat, that's where it's going to take on that almost black appearance. But when you get it up to the light, you're going to see that it's definitely a very deep eggplant shade. This one also dries down pretty glossy, so any top coat would be fine. I feel like if you matted it, it would probably appear more purple toned to me. It's just enough that It's kind of leaning on the edge between black and eggplant. Very rich, very vampy, super, super fall. Here is Gardner. This is a what I would describe as a blurple. It's, to me, it photographed pretty blue in my blog photos. Here you're seeing it, as far as what I'm seeing on my monitor, you're seeing it the blurple, basically what I'm seeing in person. I feel like it's color accurate here, at least for what I'm seeing. The first coat does start off just a little bit on the thinner side, but looking here, you can see on the second coat, it's just fine. This is another shimmer in the collection that I think is photographing with streak lines on it, but in person I'm not seeing it a whole lot. I am going a little heavy-handed on how I'm applying that brush on my nail, and I don't think that's helping a whole lot, so just be mindful of your brush strokes and it will be just fine. In person, outside of the light box, I'm not seeing it look as streaky as what you're seeing here. Here is Layton. I really liked this one. Obviously, I'm very picky on reds, and I don't usually like the very warm-toned reds, so I was very pleased that there are the two cool-toned reds in this collection. This one is definitely very burgundy to me in person, and I think most people are going to need to do two thin coats for that real plump looking appearance, and it just applied super, super nice. The formula has a nice medium consistency to it. I didn't get a whole lot of running with it, and on the second coat I had zero patchiness, and like I said, the creams in this collection, they look like gel polishes when you're finished with them. I think a matte top coat would, once again, I mean, really for any of these would look fantastic, but my personal preference, I do like to see my creams glossy on me. The next polish is another metallic. This is Devon. On this one, I feel like the base is like a dusty type of purple. The first coat is going to start off a touch sheer. This one is loaded with shimmer. I see several different colors up close. You can see in my macro shot there's some golds, there's even a little bit of copper, and a touch of shimmer. The little flecks in there give like a sparkly appearance. On the second coat, I'm very tempted to say that some people might get away with two coats on Devon. I went for that third because my nails are, once again, I'm always complaining, they're always very wide, and so I need that, just that little extra bit of coverage here. On this third coat here, I am going very light with the brush, and I think that helps with the shimmers to not give you any lines. This is another that I feel like taking my hand outside of the light box, you're not going to see it as prominent. So it looks more, overall it looks more uniform is how I would put it. Up next is Ruthie. She is a pastel dusty pink. I was very surprised with how much I adored this color on me. I think those with medium to deep skin tones can definitely pull this off, and it's going to look fabulous. It does look a little warm toned here, but I will say that I do have a lot of yellow undertones to me, and I think it looked phenomenal on myself. It is almost a one coater, but if you want that real gel looking, just nice squishy thick look, which I know that sounds bad, but if you understand what I mean, that two thin coats is all you need, and it does dry down super glossy on its own, just like the others. I feel like matte or glossy, it's going to look fantastic. And I know I sound like a broken record, but it's true for all of them in this collection. And I just, looks fantastic. I can't really say anything else. I really liked this color. I really would like to see an eyeshadow in this color. I'm borderline obsessed with this shade. It's fantastic. The next polish is Maeve, and I apologize if I'm saying that incorrectly. I always say that I'm not a purple girl, but sometimes I have to break what I say because this was another top pick in the collection for me. The first coat, as you can see here, does start off somewhat a little thinner than the other creams in the collection, but on that second coat, you really get that just grape color to pop. And just fantastic. I am in love with this shade too. I don't know. I'm not a purple girl, but I mean, if purples are coming in this color, I'm all for it. Give it to me. I think this would really pop matte as well. It'll probably make it look a little bit lighter. It's just I liked it a lot, needless to say. Continuing on, we have Marianne. I really like this one too. I sound like a broken record. I was really impressed with this entire collection, obviously. And totally not being biased as a fan of Zoya. It's really fantastic. I think they really pulled it off. It's hard to make a neutral blushy type of collection that will flatter everybody, but I have full confidence that any of these anybody could pull off. The first coat does start off a little bit thinner, but once again, you're seeing here on that second coat, it's fully built up. You will want to be a little mindful of your brush strokes because there is that wonderful, delicious golden shimmer in there. In person, once again, I don't really see it as prominent. If you look at my swatch photos on the full Manny shot, I think it just kind of goes with the shimmer and it's perfectly fine. Everything's evened out and the self-leveling on all of these is phenomenal. No matter what, if you make a mistake after you top coat, it just evens itself out. Very impressive. Here is Kendra. This one is interesting to me. I did go in a little heavy on this particular one just to kind of show you guys what I mean when I say depending on your application type, your nail length, etc., just depends on how many coats you're going to need. But with the caveat that you're more than likely, I can certainly say, not going to need more than 2 coats. So here I did start off a little heavy-handed and kind of brushed it around a little bit, cleaned up the brush, and 1 coat was just enough. Once again, using a glossy top coat, it just gives you that nice gel look, and it really is a flattering shade. I would like to see makeup in this color too. I mean, I was a little inspired, honestly, to make some makeup looks with this. Here is Donny. This I would describe as a dark but vibrant fuchsia. This is a really interesting color to me. It's got purpley undertones to it, but you can see it that it's kind of mixed with that nice bright fuchsia in a dusty way, if that makes sense. The first coat is a little on the thinner side, and once again I'm saying that loosely. On the second coat, it's going to pop out for you and it's going to give you that overall full coverage look. One thing I really like about Zoya is that their brushes, while I will always like wide brushes, their brushes tend to move really nice even if you have a deep C curve like I do. And I just had full coverage after that. Really wonderful. So Once again, glossy top coat, even application, and that self-leveling factor is just phenomenal. The Element collection is currently available on Zoya's website. You can check out the link below if you'd like to see them up for sale. I have a full review also on my blog, and I have links posted on there as well. If you liked what you see, please like and subscribe, and I can't thank you guys enough for watching.